There are two rules in emergency services. Rule 1, we lose lives. Rule 2, you can't change Rule 1. CISM stands for Critical Incident Stress Management. A typical scenario would be a police officer is traumatized, goes back to the station house. Everyone sees he's got the 1,000-mile stare. No one knows what to say or do. No one wants to make it worse, so they say and do nothing. And it's usually a supervisor that'll contact the team or contact one of our team members or myself, knowing there's something wrong, but they just don't know what to do to help this person. Then we get called into the station house and we begin the process of healing by putting words to indescribable experiences. One of the most amazing things is called a CISD, Critical Incident Stress Debriefing. A trained critical incident stress management team comes in of peers of the first responders and mental health professionals and chaplains who are all trained in the same training and comes together with a group who's so traumatized they just don't know how to begin this process. And what we do is we have a model to help them start putting words to the experience and putting words to the emotions as a result of that experience.
At that point, we were running down the street. I remember running behind them saying, "Oh man, hope this guy gets away because this is going to be bad." And at that point, he falls. And I see some sparks shoot out from the ground. And I remember yelling, "Stop, drop the gun. Don't get up, drop the gun. Leave the gun down, leave the gun down." He picks it up and he ran into like a recessed corner in the front of the building. And he turned around with his gun out, pointing at us, and we fired.
What do you remember some human thoughts that you had? Maybe it was right when it happened or maybe right after.
Oh, I thought from the beginning we're fucked.
When did that first happen? When do you remember having that thought?
Oh, not long after.
Okay.
Not long after.
Looking back at this now, what do you remember was some of the worst parts? Or some that bothers you the most? And maybe still with you today.
They kept referring to the shooting as a slaying. There was so much bad information that was put out, through the media, and they just kept begging for more. So I remember thinking, like, holy shit, I'm gonna get real. I'm going to fucking jail. They got real lonely.
One time I was on the roadside, and it was just a horrific call. And I remember crying on the roadside. And sitting there at that moment, I think was when I decided that I don't want another cop to cry alone. It's amazing to see the TV shows and the drama of critical incidents, and we all like to see that. But the human drama, I truly believe, isn't then for a first responder. The drama is what happens afterwards and how that first responder is able to recover.
One part of me felt elated, and the other part of me was like, holy fuck, it was just such a weird, disparity in my feelings from moment to moment. She would want to come and hug me. She was smart. She'd try to get me in, we have a hallway, she'd kind of come around and trying to give me a hug and kind of stop me from walking forward, and it would drive me crazy. I felt like a caged animal. I was like, just don't, I'm trying to go into the kitchen, just let me get there and then approach me. It was just weird.
The most important thing is that the people who experienced it in a trained CISM team come together that knows the model and how to help someone begin that process of healing. It's almost magical what happens there.
As hard as it were to deal with, had I not expected it to come on, or had I not recognized when it was coming on, so Pete told me I was going to go through this, I'm okay. So that helped big time, big time.
The people who will talk and give their experiences will do so because they trust me. It's my integrity that's on the line.